Hey, everybody, welcome back to another grad interview. The response we get on these is really awesome. Everybody loves hearing from our grads. Love hearing from the grads. Students love hearing from the grads. Prospective students love hearing from the grads and just hearing everything that just insight to their business, what life has been like since joining Pretty Focused, all of the hard stuff, everything. And our grads are so wonderful to be able to share all of those fun or maybe not so fun details with everybody, because we want these interviews to be real. We want them to be authentic and relatable. And so tonight we have Stephanie Deming with us. And Stephanie, can you tell us right now, where are you from? Where do you live?
Recently just moved to New Jersey. We are a military family. We were over on the West Coast just a little bit ago, and we're now back on the East Coast.
Wow. Well, thank you for your service. I love it. Love it so much. So I know that's probably a hard move for you. But how many times have you moved? Because of the
1, 2, 3, 4. This was the 5th move.
fifth time. Okay, so you're kind of getting into a groove now, right?
Yes. Next ones are forever ones. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know where that will be, or no, not yet?
Military families either know exactly where they're going to go or have absolutely no clue, and the countdown is like ticking away. Like we have 2 years and we have no clue. So
okay,
we'll see.
Yeah. So I think how long? Because I kind of want to tie this in. When did you join Pretty Focused?
Let's see. It was back in 2020. It was like the beginning of the year of 2021 or the end of the year of 2020. It was somewhere pandemic timeline where everything kind of
Okay. And then when did you graduate?
I graduated back on February 5th, 2021.
Okay. Wow. And then you got I see you got your shop up and running just like a week later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
so
a week later, sold out. It was great.
Oh my gosh. What were you doing? Because we're going to get into all of that, the shop and what that looks like. But what were you doing before Pretty Focused? And what made you say, that is the fit for me?
Well, I was actually in the industry already. I was photographing for different bloggers, but I was kind of stuck in the niche of keto, which I hate. The lifestyle isn't for me. Right. I like the carbs. But I was doing it because that's where I was getting money. But I was hitting this wall. I was making food I hated making. I was getting paid smaller amounts, much smaller. And I was middle of a pandemic going, maybe I'll want to be a teacher. Maybe I should just forgo everything and become a teacher. And then I was looking into it and that wasn't a fit. And I stumbled across your guys' course because of Ivy's store she had. And I went, wait a minute.
Probably Ivy's prices, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like, there's no way someone's selling recipes at these prices. I'm like, how?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So you were like, I want that. I want to have the shop and I want to have those prices. So, it's been it's been a year and a half now. So how is it going?
A year and a half. Oh my gosh.
How is it? It feels longer than that, though. It does.
It does. It was funny when I was trying to track the numbers. I was like scrolling through the Buyers Club, like, when did I start this? And I'm like, it keeps going. But yeah, it's been a while now.
It's been a while. So how are things going for you now?
Really good. Really good. I mean, we're going with the economy. Like,
yeah.
that's the one thing I love about this group is, some of my items weren't selling as fast as they were pre craziness of everything going on right now. And I was able to contact the community going, anyone else going through this? And, got replies of great tips on how to overcome the struggles of the economy, and how the bloggers are looking for more solid content that is going to be.
I think that there's always, and we did this like live a couple of about a month ago. What did we call it, Stephanie? Like recession-proofing your business. Yeah. And so I love what Stephanie Keeping said in there. The other Stephanie,
not related.
She talked about how when we talked about recession-proofing your business, it's not just for the recession, it's like for any challenges that might come your way. And so sometimes challenges can come your way, but I think one thing that Stephanie is so good at sharing is that there's always a way to fight those challenges. Right? Mm-hmm. There's always something that you can do. And she's never one. I have to give you a little shout out, Stephanie. You're never one to say, like, throw in the towel and say, well, I know it is what it is.
Sometimes it would be nice to be like, well, it's the timing, or it's this, right? Yeah, but there's ways. So oh my God, this is going to be so hard, but I want to give Stephanie credit because I'm going to hype you a bit. Because I don't know if you realize, I feel like I'm shocked that it's a year and a half, because I feel like you're emerging as a leader in this whole selling exclusive space. And so I want to recognize that. I'm sure other people feel it too, but I feel that like people are like, wow, and they're seeing what you can doing. And I think when you're like, things aren't selling as much, it's almost modesty, because we all look at your shop and we're like, she's killing it. So we're like, what is she complaining about? It's amazing. So I think like you're doing a tremendous job. And I think what I have seen you do that it has been really hard, or others haven't been able to replicate, is in the semi-exclusive category. How you can think of like 8 recipes. So you just did like Loft House cookies as a semi. How many did you sell? Like, how many did you do total?
I think it was like 11.
Okay, so 11. And how much did you sell them for?
Was it $275 or $285?
Melody, get the calculator. And so when you're like, things don't sell as well, one took a little out of those 11. One took a little bit longer to sell than maybe.
Yes, one.
Maybe not.
Yeah, like it wasn't. Things are not bad by any means. I am still making way more.
No,
than I ever was. But I like the fact that the groups are there to help.
Yes, but
advice. It's not just for going through the course.
No,
you can't forget that the course is there to go back and be like, hey, what's going on? Like, is my work not up to par? Or is there something going on?
Yeah, I love it, because that's my favorite. I'm a fixer. So I love it when someone is like, great isn't good enough. I want to be excellent. And like, like it would have been so easy for you to say like, well, I sold 10. But you're like, why isn't that one selling? So
those darn footballs.
Yeah. No, but so I want to say publicly that I think you're doing an amazing job, and you have like great business instincts. And I really do feel like you're like a natural leader, where you're just quietly working away and killing it, and people notice. So you should be really proud of that. And I'm thinking like when we first talked to you, you would have been like fresh, right? Yeah. And to think like where you've come, and I'm sure other people would agree with me too. Especially that semi category, I think is like, when you think of those where you are doing like, that is genius. So
11.
So it's like $3,000. One Loft House cookie recipe done like
11 times.
Yeah.
Did somebody do the math on that?
He was like,
Don't close the screen. Don't close the screen. Don't, unless you can do, picture in picture or whatever. But
but that's so smart. And I've seen you do that multiple times. And I just think it's brilliant. Like we talk about people who have done things that have changed the game. And I think more and more people will follow. So, like Ivy with her shop or Lindsay selling her portfolio. And I think you doing these massive semi bundles, but they're different, right? Like why they can sell is because they're all different. Like, so you did like a bunch of different themes of the same cookie recipe and it's brilliant. And so I want to like hype you a little bit on that.
Thank you. Yeah. I love them. Yeah. Less writing I have to do. I'm dyslexic. So just trying to write, if the least amount I can do is key.
Yeah. You're like, I've got the photos down. I can take pictures all day long. It's the Oh man, that's amazing. Can I ask how long it took you to do 11 different recipes? I mean, did you make it 11 different times?
It was about 5 days of work to shoot, write, edit, test, all that kind of stuff. But I made large batches of the cookies because they shared half of the in-process shots.
Yeah.
So their specific cookie had their own decorating process shots. Right. So I would just kind of swap the cookies out and I made a big batch of buttercream all at once and just colored it different colors. And
wow.
Super smart. I managed to get one. I went in to get 2 and they had already sold before I could like get my payment information in. So then I'm like, damn it, what am I gonna buy? I was like, okay, there's some springtime ones here. I'll take that.
Oh my gosh. So when you say 5 days of work, how many hours a day were you actually working? Were you working like 8 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours a day? What was that?
It varies because I am still pretty much a stay-at-home mom at the same time. And my kids do soccer and Girl Scouts and just different activities with everything under the sun. So I'm working after they go to school. And then I kind of work from the time they're at school. And depending on the difficulty of the recipe, I'll work in between activities, or sometimes I'll bring my laptop to the soccer practice field. So I'm not good at keeping track of how many hours I'm working because it's like here I'll do 30 minutes and here I'll do a couple hours. Right.
So, and your own boss. So you don't have to report to anyone.
Yes.
Yeah. You said something that I just thought was so amazing. That you said you went from having a part-time job to having a full-time job with total freedom. Mm-hmm. How many people can say that?
Not many.
When you talk about your part-time job, before, was a part-time job you consider doing the keto recipes part-time job, or were you actually physically going somewhere to?
I would say I was working close to full-time hours. But I was only getting paid part-time working from home, doing the keto recipes and stuff.
Wow.
So it was like getting paid part-time. And my husband was like, so getting close to retirement. What, you going to go back to a bakery and start working? Like, what you going to do? And I'm like, no, I got to make this work.
You're like, I'm not going backwards.
I'm sure he's not asking that now though, right?
No, I would have to work weekends again. Holidays? No.
Oh, no. I mean, and at a bakery you're working. Did you ever work like midnight shift, like during the middle of the night?
No, I was the head cake decorator for a while. So I had to work weekends to deliver cakes. And it was basically Sunday through, not Sunday, Tuesday through Saturday, be working a lot, crazy hours.
Wow. And now you've got the flexibility to be there for soccer practice, for Girl Scouts. You're a leader.
Yes.
Right.
I have that time. And it takes a lot of extra time because it takes a lot of planning and shopping, and I can meet up with the other leader whenever she has a free moment. Like, all right, yeah, sure. Got an hour here.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. So, what has been what was maybe a challenge that you faced going through Pretty Focused?
I think it was humbling myself.
Oh my gosh,
So
you're not the first to say that.
I had been doing it since food photography since 2012. I started just after my daughter was born because I went a little stir crazy. But back then, you would take a picture on your counter and that was it, and you were good. And I took some other courses and thought I knew what I was doing by then. So to get like the different feedback, it was hard for me at first. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? It doesn't always have to be that composition. There's these kind of compositions and this and that, but it's not what the bloggers want.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it's so different than just any type of food photography, right? Like it's this tutorial based. And so like people coming in who are amazing photographers, it's just a little different way of learning. So I think we've heard that before too, that it's hard because you have you come in with some ideas of what food photography should be. And so the coaching then, like, was it hard to get feedback and then implement it? Or like, how did that work for you? Because you already knew some things coming in.
Yeah, but I was not where I am now.
Right.
The feedback that I did get, I took it. I kind of bit my tongue quite a bit going, really? Like, okay, fine. I'll reshoot this with those specific critiques in mind, and a lot of grumbling to other girls that were other ladies going through the course at the same time, like, but it helped.
Do you think it paid off?
Yes, 100%. I look back and I go, oh, yeah, they were right. I was wrong. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we've even heard some people say that, they're doing their portfolio and by the time they get to like recipe 8 or 9, they hate recipe 1 and 2 because they've gotten so much better. So they end up doing like 11 or to just have the same quality.
Yeah. So this is a question I've gotten twice in like the last 24 hours. And a question we get asked regularly, but I want to hear this from a grad, and I want to hear this from somebody who had experience, not just in the industry, where you had photography experience and you were in the industry. So the question is, can I just buy access to the Buyers Club? I'm already experienced. I don't need everything else.
No, you're not. I don't care what you've been doing. You've been doing it for years upon years like me. It is, no matter what. I took other food photography courses. It is not the same, and it's not what the buyers are looking for. So your stuff, it'll sit there. Like I've tried posting in other buyer clubs that have been out there before taking Pretty Focus, and the stuff would just sit there. And it's like, I don't know why it's not going. Yeah. And it's because you don't know you don't have the perspective of a blogger. Like I didn't know SEO. I didn't know any of this stuff before going through all the different courses, and kind of humbling myself and saying, all right, there is things I can still learn that you guys have perfected, and your buyers are going to pay for that extra information.
Yeah.
The different questions, the different SEOs, the different types of images and all that. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of, a lot of other, courses out there. And I know that I know there's more than one way to compose a photo. I know there's more than one way to take a photo. A lot of them teach the editorial style or like the magazine style photography, but what Pretty Focus teaches is how would you say that it's different going from maybe having taken those other courses to Pretty Focused, how would you say it's different?
What the bloggers want are to see, okay, this is something that I could make. This is something that will be shot in my kitchen with my normal sunlight coming through. It's not going to be shot on all these fancy wood backgrounds that cost, thousands of dollars just to have. Even though I love Erickson's surfaces, it's just not something that bloggers want. They want readers to see, hey, this is something I can make. So they want the images to look not like they would actually make it.
Yeah, better than that, right?
Better
yeah.
than that.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's how it used to be, but
yeah.
how they imagine it will be when they make it,
Yeah.
even if it doesn't come out like that, it's not edit. A lot of the other styles are editorial, what you would get in the magazines or see on a billboard or fancy things like that. But it's a lot of harsher lights, a lot of dark and moodies and all that kind of stuff, which isn't.
It doesn't resonate with most of America, right? Like, really, most people are intimidated, I think, by an editorial. Like the same food, that's photographed differently can make a huge difference.
Yeah. So sorry, Stephanie, we're going to ask something. Okay. So let's talk about your shop, because you opened up a shop. You knew you wanted a shop. Did you have a shop prior to Pretty Focused, or you just saw Ivy's and you were like, I want that?
I saw Ivy's. She was the inspiration to even joining. Okay. So I knew I was joining her course at the same time. Like, I don't know if they still can do that, but I signed up for Pretty Focus, and as soon as it opened for her shop class, I signed up for that. And I was my kids were finally back at school. I was doubling down on all these different courses for myself to grow.
Yeah. That's awesome. So have you ever wanted to do recreations? Do you pick up recreations on the side, or do you just do all semis and exclusives?
Right now I just do only from my store, the exclusives and semi-exclusives. I think I get nervous with the thought of doing recreations because I got so pigeonholed because everyone was like, oh, you're really good at those and you make it look good. And I hated it. And to me, I want something that I can eat that's not just going to go to waste.
Right. So where did you take all the Loft House cookies?
My husband's work took a lot. The moms at the bus stop got a lot.
Did the Girl Scouts
get making friends here too? So I'm like, you guys want cookies?
Oh my goodness gracious. Go ahead, Stephanie.
No, I was going to say, how is it in terms of control? Like when you have your own shop, I assume one of the benefits is that you can control like what you make, like how you photograph, all those things. Is that more appealing to you as well?
Yes, 100%. I'm a very type A personality where I want things my way, and I like my time zone, my time slot. I don't have to worry about deadlines. Like with our move, I didn't have to worry about, okay, I'm going to be out of clients from this amount of time. I got to try to retain them and all that. No, it was, all right, here's my recipes. My shop is now closed. I'll see you in a few weeks. Like,
and then when you reopened, everyone was just like, hey.
Everything was back to normal. My store was selling out, and that was selling out really quickly.
That's amazing. And that's what I wanted to circle back around to this. So I'm glad that you did, because we talk about Pretty Focused being I think this is something Ivy said, that it's a choose your own adventure. Mm-hmm. Like, just because every grad kind of has their business set up differently. Some have the shops and they're doing the exclusives. Some have shops and they're doing exclusives and semi-exclusives. And some are just doing recreations. And some have their own little Facebook groups that they've created, that they've pulled buyers or clients from the Buyers Club, and they've kind of created their own communities. it's so different. And then some are working 40 hours a week, or some are working 20 hours a week, or I should say some are making, close to six figures, over six figures, and some are just like, I just need 50,000 a year, and that's what I need, and that's what I want to replace. And so I just think that there's such a wide variety of flexibility as far as setting up your business, but then time wise too, you were able to move across the country and then fall right back into it as soon as you have had your shop set up. Was there any like stresses during that time of, oh my gosh, am I going to have like, are they going to be there waiting for me whenever I get set up and start going again? Was there any of that fear for you?
At the very beginning, I wasn't worried about losing everyone. I know I have a few diehards that are on there like at 4:00 on the dot buying their stuff. I know they will be there, but at first I was a little nervous about drop off of, all right, she's kind of gone. Where did she go? Because it took me a while for the move because our house wasn't ready right away. So, and I lost my office. So it took me a lot to try to set up and figure out.
Oh, right.
Yeah. In the beginning, when we were getting ready to move, I was nervous. And I was like, well, maybe I should just set up a few recipes a week just so my newsletter is still going out and I don't get forgotten.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that didn't matter.
No, quality work will trump anything, like anything.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you don't have to worry.
Did any clients fall off?
Not that I'm aware of.
I wouldn't know because like it's sold. I don't care who bought it.
Yeah,
it's gone.
I know. And I think sometimes you guys give bloggers more credit. Most of us are like a million thoughts in our head all the time. And we're like, what? Oh, 3 weeks passed. So, right. So,
I'm telling you, I keep comparing it to when you find a good hairdresser. I said this last week. Like you are not going anywhere when you find the person that cuts your hair. And so that's what bloggers feel about photographers. When they have found a photographer that works for them, they're not going anywhere else. Like they're going to stay. And so we have a lot of really loyal people, I think, to Pretty Focused Grads in the Buyers Club. They're like, that's where I'm going. Stephanie Deming. Yep. I'm going to buy my cookies from her. Or more. You do more than cookies, but you know what I mean. So we've talked about I think maybe we've talked some about maybe your like freedom and your flexibility, but what are some things in the last year and a half that Pretty Focused has allowed you to do?
Oh, I have indulged. We have saved. Don't get me wrong. We have a good nest egg building for us to build our house. But shortly after joining the Buyers Club and starting to get that money, I was able to buy myself a brand new car.
Wow.
It was my dream car, which call me a mom, but it was just a Toyota Highlander, but I always wanted one. And it was in the color I wanted. It was during COVID lack of inventory. So I paid way more than I should have.
Oh my gosh.
But right after I had bought the car, I love to travel. So that's a huge thing for me. We've taken our kids to Hawaii using just my money that I have earned. Yosemite, we had bought season passes to Disneyland, stayed at all the properties at Disneyland. We're in the process of planning another Disney World trip.
Because now you're on the East Coast.
Right.
So it's allowed me to travel. And I mean, we've done New Hampshire and all this other kind of stuff where it's my money turns into fun money because we were able to do it.
Pretty sure when we spoke to you after you graduated, only Yosemite was on that list. So the fact that in however amount of time, you're like
a year and a half.
You also went to Hawaii, right?
Mm-hmm.
You went to Hawaii?
And we stayed at the Disneyland, the Disney World hotel that they have out there. So that's something I wouldn't expect to do because it's extra money.
Right.
It's an indulgence, anything with the Disney.
Oh my gosh. I love this.
So you've bought a new car. You've done lots of traveling. That's a lot of traveling in a year and a half. A lot of people are excited to be able to go on one vacation a year.
Yeah.
You know, you've gone several different places and done several different things. And then on top of it, you have money to still save and put towards your future. So that's amazing that you've been able to do so much. Well, you certainly work hard for it.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that we want to make sure people know, that this is like you do work. This is not a get rich quick type of job. There's work involved. It's not, there's work involved. And so I think you've been such a great example, as Stephanie said, to our grads, of like, you just kind of have just been this rising star and this pillar and this somebody who just is consistent, and has been such a good example for students coming up the ranks behind you, for grads here, you know, all around you. And people, I mean, I'm seeing in the comments, people absolutely adore you and love you. And we certainly do. So it's been so amazing to just see you and to help and just celebrate that success with you. It's amazing. I am so happy for you that you've been able to experience that in this last year and a half. How amazing is that?
Yeah.
I'm just loving reading the comments because they are all awesome. And it's like Instagram and stuff. We are always commenting. And Tina, you're my hero too. Madonna, love you.
Yep. They follow you know, it's amazing. It's just so exciting to see that. So, and you guys just got to see like a little sneak peek. For those of you who are not a part of our community yet, you just gotta like to see a little sneak peek of how awesome our community is. And I just, we haven't really announced this yet, Stephanie, but we actually have created a group and community just for our grads. So I don't think even students know that, unless another grad told them that. We just started this about a month ago, I think. And it's a community just for grads. So it's a place where grads are going and they can plop down those questions of, you know, tell me why you think this isn't selling, or tell me what do you have going on? You know, what's going on in your business and how are you guys doing? And I've just seen a lot of really great things come out of that grad community. So yeah, Kelly, we can't wait for you to be in that group either.
I actually just stumbled upon it. All of a sudden Facebook was like, you might like this group. And I'm like,
what?
Facebook's like, why are you here? Like,
okay. So Stephanie, we need to send out another email, because apparently not all the
yeah.
We can see that. That's awesome. Yeah. So we just love the Pretty Focused community, and everybody.
It's the best. It's not. It couldn't easily, in this kind of a career, it can easily turn into you stole my idea, or I was going to do that first, or how dare you do chicken, buffalo chicken. I made that. And it's not like that at all. Like Ivy and I have literally messaged each other like, great minds think alike. And she'd be like, I was making the same recipe today. And it's like, we're following the trends. And
look, I mean,
it happens to bloggers all the
for
time.
everybody.
I'll see a friend's recipe go up. I'm like, I just need to let you know that we have one of those in development right now. Sorry.
But it's just everyone's nice about it. No one's sitting there being cutthroat. Everyone in that community is just constantly cheering everyone on and just supporting good, bad times, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I like, because, you know, you guys are competitors, but it's competition in the healthiest way possible, where you can lift each other up and grow together rather than like tearing each other down to grow. Like, it's so inspiring to be in there. And I think even like in the group, when people are new and they're, you know, like feeling like vulnerable and having to post work that they know is at the beginning, and then like how everyone jumps on and is just so supportive. Like it's just like it's a nice place to be. Like whenever I'm in there, I'm like, it's so lovely here.
Yes, I love it. Now that I'm settled in, I got to get back into the community a little more.
Yeah.
You've had a lot going on.
Yeah, life ebbs and flows for all of us.
Yeah. You've had a lot going on. So just know that it's there. It's always there for you. Like whenever you need to come back and ask questions. So
I just feel bad when new people are like, "Oh, I'm following you." And I'm like, "Thanks."
You're like,
no, it's good.
And I'm like, "Okay, awesome. That's so sweet. Can't wait to see your work."
That is so sweet. I love that so much. So you've been around for a year and a half. You are killing it. What is one thing you would tell someone who's considering joining Pretty Focused? What advice do you have?
Don't wait. Do not wait. Just like everything, courses always go up in price. They're never going to go down. That was one thing for me was, oh, do I really want to spend that much money? You will make that money back so quickly. Like it's a drop in the penny compared to what you will be making trying to do this on your own. Follow the advice and you will make that. I made my money back within like the first 2 weeks. Like it was like a no-brainer. I just wish I had pulled that trigger sooner because I was hemming and hawing on it for a little bit, but yeah, it's worth it. Don't wait.
And now you're just like not looking back. Now you're just trucking forward. Like it's like a distant memory, right?
Yeah.
I know the math really does math. Like that's what we're trying to get, trying to tell people like it's there. Like I think especially now that even people are selling their portfolios, it's even faster. Like,
so. Did you sell your portfolio?
No, that wasn't
the olden days, Melody.
That was okay. Well, okay. I did not sell my portfolio through the Buyers Club. My friend who got me into this career has a website, so I sold her the items. Off the books type of thing.
I like it.
Like back before it was normal to sell your portfolio.
Yeah, well, it would happen like, a blogger would see something and be like, did you do that recipe? I'll buy it from you. But it wasn't like as organized as it is now, which is incredible.
Yeah, I had pre-sold them to her. And after I released mine, I was getting tons of messages. Oh, I'll buy that from you. And it's like, just shot myself in the foot here.
Better like raise those prices.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. So for those of you wanting to sell your portfolios, let me ask this question. You're wanting if they want to sell their portfolios, Stephanie, what's some advice you would give them? This was not on our list of questions. I'm so sorry.
I hate when they say take another course type of thing. But if you take Ivy's Selling Exclusive, she teaches you all of the breakdown of what buyers are wanting to spend more money on. So if you're going to sell those portfolio items, if you have those extra things like the FAQs and the SEO and all that, you can make more money.
Well,
very helpful.
We do have good news. Because we do a pay in full bonus now. Sorry.
Thanks. Here's my bonus. So sorry.
Not retroactive in any way. And so if anyone does the pay in full bonus, they get one of 3 master classes for free. So you can choose any one. And that one so it's the Selling Exclusives Masterclass is one of them. So someone could actually pay in full and then get that one for free.
Yes.
So
if you want to be
amazing deal. Yeah.
I see some of the newer people go into the Buyers Club and try to sell just the plain recipes like from the portfolios at the higher price points. But the problem is that they're not getting as many hits because they're not coming with that stuff that they don't realize isn't in there, like the FAQs and the SEO, because that's huge to the bloggers.
It's value, definitely value.
It's a huge value added.
And so you can, that's and it teaches like even photography wise what people are willing to buy and all those things.
So we have some questions. So you guys, we're going to start answering a few questions. If you have more, questions for Stephanie, maybe
you can message me. I'm always there for any of the Pretty Focused girls.
So let's talk about 11 semi-exclusives. So I think you touched on this before, but let's go ahead and answer it again. Maybe she missed it. Or for those of you who were not around during that part of the conversation, did you do 11 different process sets with different linens and all, like different styling, all that stuff?
I left the linen out, and I found that any semi-exclusive, leave that linen out. It's not
you don't linens. You don't have to use a linen in your photos, people. I just want to let you know that is like it's an easy thing to add, but it is not mandatory.
Especially when you're doing a semi, because you want.
Yeah.
Then it's one less thing to match, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
okay,
then
go ahead. Sorry.
All the cookie dough process shot, they shared the dough part all the same. So every single blogger has those step-by-steps on how to make a basically sugar cookie all the same. And then the thing that changed was once it was time for their cookies to be different. So like when it was the vanilla and rainbow sprinkles, I had, the rainbow sprinkles and the vanilla frosting in my triangle. And then I would just kind of break everything down after I was done shooting and start from the beginning again of the decorating. And then decorate for each different one.
Did you use different boards every time, or did you use some of the same boards?
I used a lot of the white marble. I'm pretty sure was the only one I used. I found, because previously with semi-exclusives, you would see, a colored board and a wood board and a white board, and those ones would sell more because they are different. Problem is the wood board and the color board might take longer to sell. Because it doesn't fit into a lot of different bloggers' aesthetics.
So did you find when you started doing semis that the marble always went first?
Always.
Yeah. And then like white wood, right? Is second choice. My second choice is in white wood.
Yeah. I saw someone with an amazing background and I was like, I gotta message her because it was like a white wood, but it didn't look chintzy and it didn't look vinyl-y. I'm like, I gotta get that.
You gotta be so careful with the woods.
Yeah. So I will say, so the benefit to what Stephanie can get away with using the same for 11 is because the cookies were all different. So they all had a different theme. So then it looked like an exclusive, really, right? It just everyone shared the same recipe. It just the coloring and the decoration was different. So that's how you can get away with having it look so much alike.
Yeah, there were like some cookies on plates. There were I would still change up the scene even though the cookies were different. I still wanted them to be individual. Like there was one where they're all scattered on the white marble, and one was on a cutting board, one was on a cookie sheet, and it still was different.
Yeah. So let's talk about how many variations. We kind of got this question twice ish. How many is too many?
5,192,000.
Yeah. But I think there is too many if you're making the same thing and just flipping out a linen or something, right? Like,
yeah. I think they have to be, in order to do that successfully, they have to be their own item. Like I did a brownie cake mix cookie one where I changed out the different toppings, which I wasn't able to do as many of those as like the Loft House cookie ones. Those ones I did a lot because there were so many different ways to decorate it and for them to really look different versus the brownie ones. Even if you did a chocolate caramel versus a chocolate peanut butter, they're still going to look similar. And those ones I did do the colored backgrounds and the wood backgrounds, trying to make them different. So it's kind of hard to tell. If you're just doing a regular semi-exclusive, 3 is a good number.
I think so too.
But I've gotten away with like 4 or 5 when I really was creative. but you really have to be creative. Like you gotta think outside that box.
Yeah. So did you do cake mix cookies too?
Yep.
Okay. And how many did you do of those?
Oh God, that was a while ago.
I know, but you did a lot.
I did a lot, but it was easier to do because it was a white cookie and it looked different when you had different things like candy corn, and I did a whole Halloween theme on it and Christmas, and I had a whole Christmas setup. So it wasn't just here's caramel cake mix ones and here's chocolates.
So what we're hearing is whenever there is something like a cake mix cookie, or the Loft House cookies, when you can really vary up the styling and make it look completely different, you can get away with more. If you are doing mashed potatoes, instant pot mashed potatoes, right? You're gonna probably do the 3 to 4 mark, right? 3, probably.
3 is the easy. It would be the easy amount. That's kind of like the typical what you see.
Yeah. I think it's hard to some recipes like really low volume keywords. So that would be for anyone like something that not a lot of people are looking for, because those 3 bloggers who buy it will be result 1, 2, and 3, and they'll have the same recipe. So a lot of times like maybe one of those will sell and not the other 2 because it's just not a good fit, right, for a semi.
Yeah, so and don't go too niche with your theming too, because you'll end up with football cookies sitting around.
I mean, you gotta try. Like at that point, you gotta throw it all.
They ended up selling. They're gone, but it's still.
But you still did fine. You got them sold.
I know. The other thing is though, like we have been trying to say, like selling your shop out in 2 minutes is not. Like that probably just means you need to raise your prices because you want to get to a place where things are just sitting a little longer, because that means the market is like, okay, like you're capped out on your price for your work.
Yeah.
Like if it's 100%. Selling in 5 seconds, you could have probably raised your price.
You just get so used to it that you need to remind you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I do it too. I'm like compare every day to the best day the blog ever had, not like a normal day. So we all do it.
Yeah. So were the keywords all the same for each of those 11 recipes, or did you use the same name for each recipe?
So the base, like the amount of the keywords, most of them were the same, but then if like the different colored ones were all the same. But then the different themes, I was able to do more searching and found more SEOs for them and added them to that list. Like when you do those big semi-exclusives, you're not just finding the first 10 of your SEOs and keywords and all that and saying, all right, this is good. You want a giant list. So that way all these different bloggers who are getting them all have different ones they can have.
So you're doing like cake mix cookies and then Valentine's cake mix cookies type of thing, or strawberry cake mix cookies. So if you did like a Valentine one with a strawberry cake mix, did you like put in the search cake mix cookies and then Valentine cake mix cookies and like strawberry cake mix cookies? Is that what you're meaning?
Yep. And pink cake mix cookies.
Spring is what
Spring.
What I finally got.
And sometimes you hit like a hard part and you go, what the heck would you even search on this? And then you kind of go on Pinterest and you start going through and it's like, oh, they named them that. Like I can search for that name for these. Like that makes sense. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah. That was good. That was a great question. So how do you keep up your creative ideas with so many, like how do you keep it unique with each shoot and all of that? The creative side. That's the hard part with semis.
It's my brain. It's an ADHD brain with a million things going on in its head. And I just I don't honestly know how to answer that because
It works for you, right? This is why it works so well for you. This is why it's a good fit for you, right?
I will say it's harder with the savory dishes for me. So I'll go on and I'll hero hack the heck out of it. And I will just sit there and I will have 20 tabs open on my screen of all the different ones I like. And sometimes I'll even make a Pinterest board of the different ones that I found and I like. Because on Google, you can click on, like, once you hover over it, it gets like the little on the corner, a little Pinterest little circle. Yeah. And I'll make a board and I'll delete the board when I'm done with different inspirations that I found. Like, oh, I would have never thought to lay them out like that, but here it is a couple different times.
That's a great idea. Yeah. So here's a question about portfolio. If you want to sell your portfolio, would you recommend setting up a shop straight away or just sell directly in the Buyers Club for a while first?
Buyers Club.
You could do,
like Buyers Club. You don't need a store.
Right.
No. You do it because you like the automation, right?
I like the automation. I like to make it as simple as possible for me where I don't have to talk to people. There's no emailing back and forth.
It delivers
I've done that too many years. I paid my dues with that. So now to me, it's worth it to pay a monthly fee to have the store where I just upload everything right then and there. They put in their credit card. There's no waiting for payments or any of that kind of stuff. It's, if you don't buy it, someone else is like, put in your payment. Here is the instant download. You're good to go. But you don't have to have that. The Buyers Club it's there for a reason. You can post your collage or your watermarked images with a little description, and you can see the templates. Like, if anyone doesn't know what to write, just copy one of my posts. I don't care. Like, it breaks it down. I mean, it's easy.
And I think too, like I would say anyone who's a student, do not worry about the Buyers Club while you're like start thinking about selling after your portfolio has been submitted or you passed, because some people will while they're waiting for, their portfolio and stuff, work on their shop then. But I would not worry about it before you've graduated, because the customers are there waiting regardless of how you sell to them.
No, the Buyers Club's there, and anyone who's selling those portfolio things, rein your prices down to the expectations of your selling portfolio, because I remember the first few recipes did not sell well. And if I sold those today, they would have been gone. But the thing is, no one knew who I was. No one knew my work. No one knew my reputation. Until you start building up your name in the different Buyers Club and everything, you got to go, okay, let's put it at a moderate price. It will get sold.
100%. And I think selling for the pricing it for the quality too is a big.
So, well, we've gone through our whole list of questions that we've had so far. So I'm just going to see if anybody else has any other questions, but I think we kind of hit them all. You guys asked some really great questions. So we are open for enrollment now through the end of day Sunday or until our spots get sold out. So we put the link down in the chat for those of you who are interested and are ready to enroll. I don't know about you, but I still see all of Stephanie's things, and she just inspires me every time I see all of her work. And I know that some of you guys are meeting her for the first time. Some of you guys know who she is. You're just inspiring, Stephanie. Everything that you do is just so fun, and we love watching you, and we love watching your success and everything. So yes, Redonda, her work is as beautiful as she is. That is absolutely right. So I'm
learning from the best. Take Redonda's styling class, by the way. It's phenomenal.
It's so good. Yes, it is so good.
Little plug for her.
I know. So you guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions for Stephanie, feel free to tag her in the comments, and I know she'd be more than happy to answer them for you. But we will talk to you all later.
Bye.